Hey everyone. I so appreciate the effort that 18 people took to fill in our community survey that was open for the last 2 weeks. So these are the people who are really participating in guiding our way forward, hopefully representing the fuller population of our community. And so I want to honor the time that they took to fill in the survey and also the really wonderful information that they shared by just going through and just doing an overview summary of what the results were from our June Warrior of Peace tribe community survey. So I'm going to first do a little share screen here, and we will look at some of the charts. So first of all, people rated their physical health, and I'm so pleased to see that we really have a large number of people in the upper range of good physical health. So that is wonderful for us to know. And same thing with mental health. So pleased to see that the large portion of the people in our community have good mental health, and also appreciating that those that are maybe struggling a bit more, that they are connecting and being a part of our community, connecting with initiatives like the survey and hopefully with the live programs. So, we're obviously a large part of what I'm doing is supporting people's mental health. So I'm delighted to see that people are engaging, and also that, so many people within our tribe are feeling like they've got pretty good, strong mental health. And in terms of financial health, we do have the largest number in the upper range for good financial health, but this is more spread across the scale. Some people are feeling more challenged around financial health. And so I think that this is something to be aware of and attuned to. I'll just put this out here right now is that I have wondered if it would be helpful to actually do a program around having developing a healthier relationship with money. So if this is something that's of interest, then please, either leave a comment or email me directly and tell me if you think that that would be a helpful program to offer of developing a healthier relationship with money, because that's something that I have taught about before. Would be happy to do some more teaching about. And so now we will get into where I asked about people's level of interest in various areas. So in the area of the violet flame, learning more about the violet flame, I'm just going to look at the sort of the 4 and the 5 people that answered either 4 or 5 as showing, a good amount of interest. So, so pleased to see that we have 13 people out of the 18 people who were really interested in learning more about the violet flame. So I'm looking into ways to bring some education about the violet flame for you. It's such a powerful energy to connect with. So it makes me really happy to know that this is of so much interest to the tribe. So I'm really looking forward to providing some education, some training on that. And then, to my surprise, when I asked how many people are interested in learning master level ways to connect with your inner child, again, we've got a large number here. So 13 people in the 4 or 5 range. This is an area that I have really excelled in, and it's such a playful and delightful area that, again, I would love to offer some training in developing master level ways of connecting with your inner child. So I'm so delighted that this was such a popular topic. And the next one down, how interested are you in learning in an Ignatian spiritual reflection approach to merging your will with God's will? And I put this out there just because I'd had a number of people bringing this up as being of interest to them. So I thought, hey, I'll put it out to the community and see how general is this interest. And so there is a fair amount of interest. Again, if we're looking at the people who answered 4 or 5, 11 out of the 18 people said this is of interest. So again, I have taught about Ignatian spiritual reflection in the past. So I would love to be able to offer something to the community about that. And how interested are you in learning more about Saramanju, the feminine energy that came through in the Warrior of Peace Training 101 program? So we have, in terms of the answering in 4 or 5, we have 10 people out of 18, so more than half. And there's 6 people who were in the middle about it. So I'm happy to see that there is still interest. This is a very spiritual and a very special spiritual energy that's come through specifically for our tribe, a delightful feminine energy that has the ability to cut through BS, who has the ability to uplift situations with grace, who knows how to engage situations and does it in such a lovely way. So, especially with all that we are facing today, specifically in the US, the gifts of Saramanju can be so helpful. So we'll definitely be looking at how to bring a greater connection for people with Saramanju. And I put this on the same page. How interested are you in learning more about Ascension Buddhism? So this is actually the first time that I've even floated the term Ascension Buddhism out there. So I was pleasantly surprised at how many people actually were interested in it. So this is something that I would uniquely be in a place to bring forward because I know I've lived Tibetan Buddhism since I was 4 or 5 years old. And as well, I have been immersing myself in the teachings about the Earth's ascension. So I have been personally working for years now in integrating Buddhist teachings with ascension teachings. So I am delighted to see that 10 people said that they are interested, 10 out of 18. So again, more than half of the people are interested in learning about Ascension Buddhism. So may not act on that as a first thing. I'd like to really act on the things that are of even more popular interest first. But this is something that's definitely on the board for us to be doing some further exploration with. And then the final question is, how interested are you in a secure, facilitated discussion forum for the Warrior of Peace community, an asynchronous, text-based platform to connect? And it seems like the question got truncated there. So it would be funded by an affordable paid monthly membership. So some interest there, but for the most part, people expressed they are not interested in that. And so I think that that really points that that's probably something for a more mature phase of our community. And that for now, the ability to connect through the comments below the YouTube videos is serving a need for connection, for community, as well as coming out for the free once a month live programs that I've been doing on Zoom. There's a sense of connecting with community there, and even more so in the programs that I've been offering, the 30-day programs, the Warrior of Peace Power Up, the Warrior of Peace Gift Empowerment. Those are 4-week programs where people have live Q&A calls every week and a real sense of community. I'm really actually quite blown away by that sense of connection that develops between the members of the program over the course of the 4 weeks. So my thinking is that right now, these ways of forming community and connection are working for people, and that perhaps down the road there might be more of a need for a discussion, a facilitated discussion forum like this. And again, the reason why I insist that it would have to be, like a monitored, facilitated discussion forum is because I find that just, throwing up a free forum, that all kinds of things can happen. And if there's not somebody taking responsibility for dealing with, maybe somebody has some mental health problems and they start posting some negative stuff. I find that you need to have somebody facilitating who will take responsibility for either, giving warnings to the person, guiding the person, or if the person is not willing to be a good citizen, then removing them from the community. In all of the discussion forums that I've run, I've always found that you need to have somebody that's taken responsibility for making sure that it's, like a safe and respectful space. So that's maybe something we'll revisit in the future. And so I also would like to acknowledge some themes that came through in the written responses that people gave. So a theme of peace came through in three people's when I asked, what is your top concern? Three different people specifically named peace. Three people specifically named the environment. So also people, one of their top concerns is the environment. The state of our country and or the state of the world. This was something that came up quite a bit, but those specific words came up in three people's responses about what their top concern is. Two people said that dealing with the authoritarian rule and overthrow of democracy in the US, they named that as their top concern. Three people responded with things along the lines of how to navigate the current state, how to contribute to greater peace and unity, how to come from a place of peace, love, and compassion, and how to communicate positively with this odd new world. So sort of like how to navigate in this world. So that was a top concern for three people. Three people, their top concerns, they said they were dealing with significant personal issues. So that's something, to keep in mind is that everybody has things that they're dealing with on a personal level, and that's in the context of the huge challenges that are happening outside of us. I wanted to include what one person wrote because I think that it's important. She wrote misinformation, lack of ethics, and decency in our society. I feel like that was a really important way of framing a top concern. And lastly, I also wanted to share one person's top concern, how to weather this juncture and use spiritual momentum to create and open to a truly equitable, safe, and compassionate world experience for all. Sounds like a mission statement that maybe we could even use for the Warrior of Peace tribe. So really powerful words. Wanted to share those. So the last part that I'm going to share is I had asked on the survey for what people felt would be most helpful. So some themes that came through, helping us to open our hearts to the direction of spirit so that we can be effective activists. I love that because that's really where I come from. Somebody responded, assistance in feeling confident. I love that too, just because it's a topic that I'm so passionate about, of developing authentic confidence. Another person said, what to do now to cope mentally and make change in our collective world community. So I know that that's on the hearts and the minds of so many people, and we will continue to address that. community where we can share our experiences. So appreciating, somebody naming that as what they feel would be most helpful. I already spoke to the community that's currently available. And, we've got a kind of a range, a variety of ways of connecting in with the Warrior of Peace tribe. And definitely there's greater room to grow when there's a deeper need for that. Another person responded how to be practical, useful, actionable in revolutionary, chaotic times. So I love that. I'm such a huge believer in doing things that are practical and useful and actionable. I have a strong masculine element within me that likes things to be practical and actionable and useful. And so, yes, and maybe have to bring in that divine feminine to be able to take in the scope of these revolutionary, chaotic times. So, I guess the way I see it is bringing in really our divine masculine with our divine feminine in order to be able to act within these very revolutionary and chaotic times. And the last thing that somebody said they would find most helpful is Andrea leading prayers and meditations. So thanks for letting me know that you find that helpful. I hope that you have tuned in for the healing that I led on Sunday. And I'll definitely be continuing to do that. So again, I would really like to thank everybody, the 18 people who took, their precious time. People are busy and, distracted and going on vacations. 18 people took their precious time to so heartfully respond to the survey and help guide our wonderful community forward. And I so look forward to providing great programming based on the feedback that you have provided. So, from my heart, thank you so much for being engaged. And I'll look forward to having more 15-minute calls with people in these coming weeks. That's another great way to make sure that I know what's on your heart and your mind. And it's a great way for us to develop our relationship. So I'll include a link below for you to be able to reach out for a 15-minute call as well. And I will look forward to our continued journey ahead, tribe. You're so awesome. And I really love that we are together in this time. And I love working with you.